Do you feel like you're stuck in a cycle of bad habits, holding you back from reaching your full potential? In your 20s, the choices you make can shape the rest of your life. In this video, we'll dive into the worst bad habits you must stop in your 20s, guided by the powerful teachings of the legendary samurai, Miyamoto Musashi. Habit 1. Procrastination. One of the worst habits that can hold you back in your 20s is putting things off. Because there are so many distractions around, it's easy to put off doing important things or not taking care of your duties. Whether you put off studying for a test, completing a work project, or having a tough talk, putting things off can cause you to miss out on chances, feel more stressed, and not make progress toward your goals. Great fighter and sage Miyamoto Musashi was very good at staying focused and following rules. He knew how important it was to move quickly and decisively in all parts of life, not just war. Musashi wrote the famous Book of Five Rings, in which he talks about how important it is to have a clear goal and act consistently. He thought that the only way to be successful was to be completely committed and dedicated, without any doubts or second thoughts. People put things off because they are afraid of failing, don't trust themselves, or just want to avoid being uncomfortable. It's a way of hurting yourself that keeps you from reaching your full potential. Musashi's theory tells us that we can become masters if we can get over our fears and act even when we don't know what to do. He believed in the power of small, steady steps toward improvement, which is the best way to stop putting things off. If you want to stop putting things off, you should first figure out why you're putting them off. Are you putting off doing something because it seems too hard? Are you scared of messing up? You can take steps to fix the problem once you know what the root cause is. Musashi's lessons tell us to face problems head-on and accept that feeling uncomfortable is a part of learning. Breaking jobs up into smaller, easier-to-handle parts is a good way to stop putting things off. Musashi often said that you should get good at the basics before moving on to more difficult skills. Taking things one step at a time can help you feel less overwhelmed and make progress easier to reach. This method fits with Musashi's ideas about how important it is to keep getting better and work hard. Setting clear goals is another way to stop putting things off. Musashi was sure that having a goal could make things happen. Going in the wrong way is easy when you don't have a clear goal. It's important to know what you want to do in your 20s, both in the short and long run. Having a clear goal gives you a sense of urgency and drives you to act instead of putting things off. Musashi also taught people how to be aware and in the present moment. We often put things off when we let fears about the future or regrets about the past keep us from doing them. Mindfulness helps you stay focused on the job at hand and avoid getting sidetracked by thoughts that aren't helpful. Musashi's ability to stay fully present in battle was a big part of his success. The same idea can help you stop putting things off in everyday life. It is very important to develop self-discipline. Musashi was famous for working hard and always putting his skill first. He thought that being disciplined was the key to success. If you want to stop putting things off, you need to learn how to be disciplined enough to put important tasks first, even if they are hard or make you feel bad. To do this, you need to form habits that help you get things done, like making schedules, setting goals, and holding yourself responsible. Changing your attitude is also important for getting rid of delay. Musashi taught us that the way to success is to do things. You are one step closer to your goals every time you actually do something. Adopting the idea of steady effort and stopping the habit of putting things off can help you reach your full potential and be successful in your 20s. And so, putting things off is a bad habit that can really hold you back. But you can learn to break it with the help of Miyamoto Musashi's lessons on discipline, attention, and purposeful action. Own up to what you've done, make a promise to keep getting better, and let go of the fears that are stopping you. Habit 2. Living beyond your means. Many people fall into the mistake of living beyond their means, especially when they are first learning how to handle their own money, like when they are in their 20s. To keep up with your friends, buy unnecessary things, and live a lifestyle that costs more than you can afford can quickly put you in debt and make your finances unstable. At first, this habit might not seem harmful, but it can lead to stress, anxiety, and dependence that is hard to break. Miyamoto Musashi taught that simplicity and focus are important. Musashi, a famous warrior, lived a simple life, focusing on what was important to him: his skill, mastering himself, and growing as a person. His theory, which is explained in Dakodo, The Way of Walking Alone, has a deep lesson about letting go of things that you need. Musashi knew that extravagance and wealth take away from one's real purpose and stop them from growing as a person. He pushed people to have a minimalist attitude, which means they only buy what they need and stay away from the things that come with money that can make them lose focus and discipline. People often live beyond their means because they want to fit in or please other people. It's easy to feel like you have to keep up with friends, coworkers, or social media stars who seem to have everything: nice cars, brand clothes, and fancy trips. Musashi's teachings, on the other hand, say that real wealth is not in things, but in being strong, smart, and in control of yourself. You can set yourself up for long-term success and financial security by focusing on controlling yourself instead of collecting things. One risk of spending beyond your means is getting deeper and deeper into debt. Credit cards, loans, and other ways to borrow money may make you feel good in the short term, but they hurt you in the long run. Dealing with debt can be stressful, which can make it hard to take advantage of chances and reach your goals. Musashi's concept of self-reliance tells us that freedom comes from being free, and not just physically or emotionally. Freedom also comes from being free financially. After getting rid of your debt, you can focus on what really counts and live a life with meaning. To stop spending more than you earn, you should first become more aware of how you spend your money. Before you buy something, think about whether it fits with your ideals and long-term goals. Musashi's focus on self-discipline can help you make smarter choices about your money, making sure that you put your future well-being ahead of getting something right now. Also, be thankful for the things you already have. There are so many messages telling us to buy more, do more, and be more that it's easy to be unhappy with the way things are. Musashi's theory, on the other hand, tells us to let go of outside wants and find happiness within ourselves. You can break out of the loop of overconsumption and live a more important, satisfying life by focusing on personal growth instead of material things. Because of this, it's important to form good money habits that will last a lifetime. Musashi's lessons have timeless advice about how important it is to be disciplined, rely on yourself, and keep things simple. You can get out of debt, lower your stress, and focus on the things that really matter: your growth, your relationships, and your path to mastery, if you don't fall into the mistake of living beyond your means. Habit 3. Neglecting sleep. One of the worst habits people get into, especially in their 20s, is not getting enough sleep. When you're feeling strong, staying up late, working long hours, or going out with friends until early in the morning may seem like a good idea. But not getting enough sleep on a regular basis is very bad for your physical and mental health. It lowers your energy, makes you less productive, and hurts your general health. Sleep is very important if you want to be healthy and reach your full potential. Miyamoto Musashi's ideas about control and balance can be used in every part of life, even when you're just relaxing. He knew how important it was to take care of his body and mind in order to do his best. Musashi says in the Book of 5 Rings that a fighter should always be aware and ready. Being this ready can't be done if your mind is cloudy from not getting enough sleep. Musashi's lessons stress self-discipline and the idea that rest is not a luxury for people who want to get better at what they do. Today, not getting enough sleep is often seen as a good thing. A lot of people brag about how little sleep they get, as if that means they work hard or hustle. But research shows over and over that not getting enough sleep makes it harder to think clearly, be creative, make decisions, and control your emotions. In your 20s, you're building the foundations for your future, and not getting enough sleep can make it harder for you to do well. Sleep is important for keeping your mind clear and your emotions strong, which are two things that Miyamoto Musashi would have treasured highly. When you don't get enough rest, it gets harder to concentrate and deal with worry. Musashi had a smart mind and a calm personality. To keep these traits, he would have needed to take care of his body and train his mind. If you're always going on empty, you can't hope to master yourself or become great. Setting a regular sleep routine is the first thing you should do to stop the habit of skipping sleep. Just like Musashi would have trained with focus and accuracy, you should be just as careful and dedicated with your sleep schedule. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of good sleep every night, and do something before bed that helps you relax, like reading or relaxing. Before bed, stay away from computers, coffee, and big meals because they can make it hard to fall asleep. Miyamoto Musashi taught that balance is important in everything, and that means knowing when to move forward and when to rest. Sleep is not a sign of being weak or lazy. It is a strong way to heal and grow. If you put sleep first, you'll have more energy, focus, and strength to deal with the difficulties in your daily life and reach your long-term goals. That being said, it's easy to give up sleep in order to be more productive or hang out with friends, but this can be bad in the long run. Musashi said that rest is just as important as working hard. We should follow his lead. Make getting enough sleep a goal. It will help you think more clearly, feel better, and excel in the years to come. Getting enough sleep is not a barrier on the path to greatness. It is an important part of it. Habit 4. Avoiding risks. A lot of people avoid taking chances, especially when they are in their 20s and afraid of failing or not knowing what will happen in the future. It might feel better to stay in your comfort zone, but staying there can keep you from growing, succeeding, and finding out what you're really capable of. The famous warrior Miyamoto Musashi knew that the way to be great is to face obstacles and take measured chances. His ideas about being brave, persistent, and sure of one's own abilities can help you break the habit of avoiding risks. Musashi stressed the need for planning, strategy, and the ability to change. He knew that there are no guarantees in life, and that the only way to really do well is to face problems head-on. When he fought other samurai in duels or looked for ways to get better, Musashi's life was full of danger. He didn't take risks without thinking. He did it on purpose. He thought about what could happen, got ready well, and went ahead with confidence, even though success wasn't a given. People often don't take chances because they're afraid of failing or being turned down. You might be afraid of messing up, letting people down, or going into the dark, but this way of thinking holds you back from reaching your goals and reaching your full potential. The lessons that Musashi taught us tell us to see danger as a chance to grow. No matter if you succeed or fail, every task is a chance to learn and get better. Taking risks makes you stronger, more flexible, and helps you learn more about your skills and flaws. It's important to take chances when you're in your 20s. It's time to leave your comfort zone. Whether it's by starting a new job, following your interest, or moving to a new place. Musashi's ideas tell us that being safe is not the way to success. It takes being brave enough to face uncertainty and believing that you can handle the challenges that lie ahead. Getting more confident in yourself is one of the best things about taking risks. When you jump out of the plane, you show yourself that you can handle anything that comes your way. Musashi's focus on mental toughness and discipline teaches us that doing things, not avoiding them, is the best way to build confidence. When you take more chances, you believe in yourself more, which makes you more successful and happy in the long run. Having a growth attitude is the first thing you can do to stop taking risks. Learn that failing is not something to be afraid of, but rather an important part of getting better. Musashi had a lot of mistakes and losses in his life, but he saw each one as a chance to get better. If you change how you think about risks, you'll start to see them as opportunities to learn instead of as threats to your safety. Also, make it a habit to take small risks every day. Don't decide to change your whole life right away. Instead, start by doing small things that are outside of your comfort zone. It will get easier to take on bigger tasks and opportunities as time goes on, and you get used to not knowing what will happen. So, staying away from risks might seem like the better choice. But Musashi's wise words tell us that real success requires being brave, persistent, and ready to face the unknown. By forcing yourself to take risks, you'll find new chances, get stronger, and gain the confidence to keep going after your goals no matter what. Habit 5. People-pleasing. People-pleasing is a normal habit in your 20s because many people want to be liked and accepted by others. People-pleasing can hurt your sense of self and keep you from living your true life, whether it means deciding to do things you don't want to, putting other people's needs before your own, or always looking for praise. Miyamoto Musashi shows how important it is to be strong inside and rely on yourself. He lived on his own, following his own morals instead of other people's ideas or demands. In Dakodo, he says not to depend on other people's praise because real happiness comes from inside. Musashi's theory tells us to be true to ourselves, even if it means letting other people down or going against the crowd. People-pleasing is a habit that comes from being afraid of being turned down, criticized, or in conflict. But always trying to make other people happy costs a lot. In the process, you give up your own wants, needs, and limits. For a long time, this makes people angry, tired, and unsure of who they are. Musashi's teachings on self-mastery tell us that we need to work on being strong and honest first, before we can really help other people. When you're in your 20s, you need to stop trying to please everyone and learn how to set good limits. Being selfish or mean is not what this means. It means sticking to your own values and goals. Musashi's message of separation can help you stop needing approval from other people. Focus on building your own sense of self-worth instead of trying to get other people to like you. Start being forceful to stop trying to please everyone. When you need to, learn to say no, and don't be afraid to say what you really think and feel. Musashi shows us that true strength comes from within, and that living in line with your values will make you happier and more secure. So don't let the need to make other people happy affect the decisions you make. Musashi's wise words tell us that being honest with ourselves is what makes us strong. If you let go of the need to be liked, you'll be able to live your true life and follow your own path. Habit 6. Comparing yourself to others. With all the social media out there, it's simple to start thinking about how you stack up against other people. This habit of comparing your job, relationships, or looks to those of your peers can make you feel bad about yourself and cause you to question your abilities. It's especially bad to compare yourself to others when you're in your 20s and still trying to figure out your way. Miyamoto Musashi teaches that you should focus on your own path instead of getting sidetracked by what other people have accomplished. As a warrior, he was committed to success and knew that everyone has their own way to follow. Musashi's theory tells us to be self-disciplined and keep our eyes on our own growth instead of letting comparisons with others affect us. You lose sight of your own growth and ability when you compare yourself to other people. Your journey is unique, and what works for you might not work for someone else. Musashi's teachings on self-reliance tell us that we should believe in our own skills and go our own way, no matter what other people do. When people compare themselves to others, it can make them feel envious, unsafe, and unhappy. It takes your attention away from your own goals and makes you feel pressured to keep up with other people. We should not compare ourselves to other people, as Musashi taught us. Instead, we should work on becoming the best version of ourselves. Start being grateful for what you have to stop comparing yourself to others. Focus on what you've done well, what you're good at, and how far you've come. Being aware and present, like Musashi taught, can help you stay in the present moment instead of getting caught up in comparisons. By turning your attention inward, you'll develop a sense of happiness and satisfaction that doesn't depend on approval from other people. Don't forget that your trip is unique. The wise words of Musashi tell us that real success doesn't come from beating other people, but from mastering yourself and growing as a person. If you stop comparing yourself to others, you can focus on your own road and reach your full potential. Habit 7. Isolating yourself. When you're under a lot of stress, don't know what to do, or question yourself, You might start to isolate yourself. It's easy to feel stressed by the responsibilities of life in your 20s, which can make you pull away from other people. Being alone for a long time can help you think about yourself, but it can also make you lonely, depressed, and without any support. Isolation was important to Miyamoto Musashi for self-discipline and self-reflection, but he also knew how important it was to be part of a group and make connections. Musashi says that everything needs to be balanced, even partnerships. Being alone can help you grow as a person, but it shouldn't be used instead of real relationships with other people. It's easy to get stuck in a loop of isolation. If you pull away from people, it gets harder to ask for help or support. This habit can make you feel alone and make mental health problems worse. Musashi's teachings on balance tell us that being independent is important, but we also need the help and company of others to do well. Start by talking to friends, family, or teachers to break the habit of being alone. Build connections that help you grow and feel good about yourself. Musashi's theory of self-mastery can help you build up the mental strength to let others in, even when it's hard. Also, it's good to find a mix between being alone and being with other people. Musashi's wise words tell us that self-discipline is important for personal growth, but real power also comes from having other people back you. Breaking the habit of being alone will help you make friends who will be there for you when life gets tough. Ultimately, your 20s are a very important time to get rid of bad habits and start building a happy, successful life. You can develop the discipline, grit, and inner strength to stop putting things off. Live within your means. Put rest first. Take chances. Stop trying to please other people. Let go of comparisons and connect with others by studying the lessons of Miyamoto Musashi. If you follow these lessons, you'll be well on your way to becoming great and mastering yourself.